Marriage and Family Overview, the Gladding Ch, Chapter 12, working with remarried families. Families who have lost a spouse through divorce, abandonment, death, as we talked about in Chapter 11, but have now decided to reform a new group. Step families, reconstituted families, recoupled families, merged families, patch families, blended families. I would also add foster and adoptive families. Remarried families, blended families account for about 40% of the children born. And how to form, comparing first families with and it's very important to use first family, current family, not old family and new family because of negative connotations. Looking at common concerns, at the baggage, the history, the family of origin, the current and ex-in-laws. While that may be an ex-in-law to the adult in the relationship, it is the grandparent to the child. Developmental patterns, interactional patterns, communication patterns. So, dealing with the death of a family members live longer. In the 40s, before the 20th century, 1 out of every 2 adults died before age 50. Looking at how we handle the death on a spiritual, social, familial, relational continuum, and how that family is dealing with these things based on that. Page 292, table 12.1, a remarried family formation, a developmental outline, dealing with the divorce of a couple. 50% of first marriages end in divorce. It goes up significantly for each new relationship. Third marriages have somewhere around 88 to 90%. Divorce rate. 2/3 of divorces occur in the first 10 years, somewhat because of affairs, conflicting role expectations, money, children, health issues, differences in family of origin, and the fact that we tend to marry our parents. Or then conversely, the next marriage we marry someone totally different. So looking through the experience of divorce, most people do tend to remarry. And each cultural and ethnic group may have different multicultural issues around divorce. Non-custodial mothers, 10 to 15% of parents, maintain better contact with their children than non-custodial fathers, although that is changing somewhat. Transitions for children in remarried families to make healthy adjustments in blended families. Divorce is a psychological death versus a physical death of an intimate relationship. Children perceive and respond differently to the divorces, varying by age, gender, parental conflict, pre- and post-separation, caretaking arrangement, resiliency, availability of emotional support. They may gain a closeness with their biological parent as well as with their step-parent. They may have increased positive attention from other new relatives and relationships. They may find common interests with their step-siblings and form lifetime friendships. They may not. Transitions for parents and step-parents. Uncertainty, wondering how they will be accepted, how the relationship will be accepted, what their actual role will be, what the disciplinary role will be, how their children will be able to live together in harmony or disharmony, how that will affect the quality of their relationship. Looking at structural distinctions of remarried families include a biological parent elsewhere, a relationship in the family between an adult parent and at least one child, predating the new family structure, one child who's a member of more than one household, one parent that's not legally related to at least one child, a couple that begins as other than a dyad, and a complex extended family network. Looking at a third dynamic is binuclear, 2 interrelated family households that comprise one full family system. Quasi-kin, formerly married person's ex-spouse, and the more remarriages that occur, the more relationships and family members and step-family members and quasi-family members the children may experience in their life. getting married before the mourning period has ended, and working out the structure of how this is going to work. Issues within remarried families: resolving the past, alleviating fears and concerns about step-family life, establishing trust, fostering realism, a realistic attitude, becoming emotionally and psychologically attached to others without losing the emotional psychological attachment to the actual parent who no longer lives in the home. Reconstructing and reconstituting a married family around emotional and feelings and affect. Consolidating the couple relationship while trying to work out the new parenting whole on. Integrating members into a cohesive, harmonious group. Strengths of and challenges of remarried families. Strengths of remarried families: the life experience, being older, learning some things about life, knowing some things about our own children, our relationships with our family of origin and the quasi-relationships of new families, members that are coming in, creativity, innovators, how this can work for us, how we can deal with our future. Page 298 and 299 give an outline of the issues and needs step by step. Dealing with losses, developmental needs, establishing new traditions, forming new relationships, a solid couple bond, a parenting coalition, accepting continual shifts in household composition, and risking involvement despite very little societal support at times. Appreciation and respect for differences, that just because we did it this way in our family and you're doing it separately another way in your family does not make it wrong, it just makes it different. And making the most of the situations that we have to have fulfilling relationships. Challenges of remarried families. One member that was very important to some of the children in the family have been lost. They're not custodial, they're physically absent. Establishing a hierarchy and having the roles reordered and resorted, and so that everyone knows what their new roles and rules may be, and have a time of period of adjustment and acceptance. Boundary difficulties. Membership. Who is my real family? What space is mine? Where do I really belong? Who's really in charge? Authority, discipline, money, decisions. How much time do I spend with whom, and how much do I get of their time? How to resolve feelings and emotions and very strong reactions to new people coming into the family, both the other parent and the step-siblings. Economic problems. Lack of money, stretching money through child support to one family and trying to support new families, or sometimes multiple families. Approaches for treating remarried families. Guidance in retaining old loyalties. Recognizing they don't have to give up old loyalties in order to form new ties. To avoid anger or frustration, withdrawal, domestic violence issues. Some genograms might be helpful with that. Focus on parental involvement, that even though you're now an ex-wife, ex-husband of one relationship, a new wife, new husband of a different relationship, but you're still the parent of this child, a step-parent to other children. Some parental parenting classes, parental psychoeducation, boys and girls book about step-families. This is me and my two families, might be some bibliotherapy that could be used. Assistance in the creation of family tradition and bonds. Birthdays, anniversaries, working Christmas and holidays out. Forming of new relationships, resolution of ambiguous boundaries, healing of loss, settling hierarchy, power struggles, creating beliefs, and the beginnings of change. Applying structural family therapy with Mnuchin's coalitions, alliances, hierarchies, and subsystems. Encourage them to set up an open system with permeable boundaries between current and former spouses and their families. Applying experiential family therapy or transgenerational work from Bowen. For the therapist, family members need to be encouraged to relinquish personal myths and resolve old baggage, learn effective ways of communicating, decision-making, problem-solving, using iMessages, structural programs of parent training, and especially children need a forum within the therapeutic setting which they can mourn the loss of the previous relationship, develop relationships in the reconstituted family, becoming tolerant, realistic, coming to terms with ourselves, having appropriate developmental expectations, and fostering new traditions and a healthy self-concept of themselves as a new family without denigrating the old relationship. In the summary conclusion, the summary table 307 to 310. And that takes us through that chapter.